So, welcome folks to this episode of The Rumble. Like always, my guests are somewhat unique people. And today my guest, Donn Kabiraj, he's a man who's done a lot of things in his life. Some of them hard to believe because, he's so much younger than I am. And I said, my God, you've done all this. So let me just get straight into it. So welcome to the show, Donn.
Thank you.
I guess I call you Donn?
Yes, you can.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Kabiraj. So that's Bengali. You said you're a Bengali?
Yes, I'm basically from.
Unusual name, is it? Kabiraj? Or is that normal?
Yeah, that's my surname actually. It's not my family name.
Okay. Oh, it's a surname. So tell me, I know that you're into personal branding. It's a very kind of unknown field.
It's a novel field.
Yeah, it's something new. We heard of PR,
right,
which is far more blatant, public relations
Sure.
or press relations. But brand building, personalized brand building is something new for us. What's it all about?
See, personal branding is basically identifying somebody's strength, credibilities, capabilities, and then relating that to the target group, creating an impact so that they can benefit from your capabilities, whatever business.
No, is it just to help other people or is it promoting yourself too?
True, but at the end of the day, we only get promoted and it creates an impact only when other people are benefited.
That's
Otherwise,
true.
it is like, you put some 60 feet cutout on the road, people see your face and it
Or
creates no
somewhere
impact.
where there's no traffic so nobody sees it.
Exactly.
Okay, so you help in that. So is it a kind of analytical thing that you use? Is it psychological part?
It's both an art and a technique. It has psychology and it's also analytical because there is a huge strategy that goes behind it.
Okay. So you look at a person and you can figure out what I need to do on him, or is it something that unwinds or unfolds as you dig deeper?
It does, but what happens when we meet somebody and if that gentleman is interested in personal branding, we do a brand audit. So we decide what is his personal equity, brand equity at that particular moment of time when we meet.
Okay.
And once that audit is done, then if he's interested to do a personal branding, there must be some objective in his mind. What he wants to achieve through personal branding. Because many things are achievable through this personal branding route. But what is that?
But if he understands the term personal branding itself, then he has a pretty good idea what he wants to do with it.
Not always actually, not always. But inherently we all know that we are in an attention economy where standing out can translate to success and money.
So we need to beat our own drum if nobody else is beating it. Is that how it works? Or do you think somebody else should do the promotion?
In this case, especially if you look at in our country in India, we are very sensitive about beating our own drum. It is not taken very easily. And also I would like to emphasize that personal branding is not about self-promotion. Whenever it is looked as a self-promotion, people start feeling that you are self-obsessed and it doesn't give a good flavor around wherever you are. So what actually happens, our strategy revolves around a cause. We create a cause that is aligned to your objective, what you would like to be. Now the brand is built around the cause. And you are the pioneer of the cause, you are at the helm of the cause, so you automatically on top of the pyramid all the time.
Sounds fascinating, but give us one illustration. I mean, something that might bring home the point very clearly. Now, like who would benefit from it?
To come to that, personal branding is for an entrepreneur, it is for a businessman, it is for the people, those who are into any kind of expertise, like it could be for a performing artist, it could be for a chartered accountant, lawyer, anybody. Because personal branding is something that shows that if you are like a diamond today, people get to see that you are dazzling, Personal branding is something like that. It uncovers that. Let people see you, discover you. And whether you are into a job or whether you are into business, it doesn't matter. People got to see you first. In personal branding, the whole strategy actually revolves around three main things. I think that worth mentioning here today is that people got to know you first.
Yes.
People got to like you. That's the second step. Third, people got to trust you. When all these three are in position, you can actually conquer the world. Because we always do things with people. We cannot do anything alone.
That's true. So, when we say words like trust me, borders on being a con.
Right. Yes.
Like, hey, I'm going to con you into it, but it's not conning. You're actually you're talking about projecting your own abilities to the best of your, so that they recognize that you have these qualities.
True.
Maybe use you for their own sake also.
Yes.
So who are the kind of people who have ever approached you on personal branding?
There are a variety of people, Madhav. Currently we are doing personal branding for doctors, we are doing it for lawyers, a lot of politicians, even...
and both these people that you mentioned, doctors and lawyers, I think are forbidden to do self-promotion.
So it is not a self-promotion, that's what I say.
So maybe this is where they'll get their name across.
This is where the strategy comes in. Personal branding is not about self-promotion. It is done in a very, subtle, strategical way.
Subliminal messages going out.
Subliminal messages going out all the time, so that before even other people understand, even the close circle doesn't understand that.
So let's say somebody starting a venture. Would he benefit from this, or you're talking about somebody who's only employed by himself? He's a writer, he's a speaker, he's a painter. Only, is it for individuals or is it for even corporates, this branding?
It is even for corporates. It could be for a managing director. It is for the head of a NGO who needs to sell his concept of his NGO, where the person who is heading the NGO is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Likewise, any professional where the individual is behind the business. Individual's name sales or individual. See, if you are dealing with a builder, you would like to know who are the back of...
That's true.
Heading that.
Yeah.
If you want to go to a doctor, you go by the doctor's name, not always by the hospital. Whenever there is a specialized medicine required.
Yeah.
So it is very important at the end of the day.
So what are the main tools that you use? Is it like PR, normal PR, getting articles written, interviews in press and television, radio? Is that the tools that you use?
Many things. As I told you, it is basically taking your strength, capabilities, credibilities, and then letting your target group, that is well defined when we decide the objective for you, that becomes your target group. So communicating that to the target group. Now whenever we talk about communication, we use this business trifecta. We call it a media, marketing, PR. All these three works in tandem to create that greater impact into your target group, so that they know that we can benefit from such and such person, or from his businesses, or from his services, whatever he is doing. So if you are a business, indirectly it grows your business. If you are in service, indirectly your service industry gets benefited. And if you are a performance artist or somebody where you sell yourself or sell your personal capabilities directly, you're on the top
folks,
of it.
Sounds like a completely new, out-of-the-box kind of experience. So when you come back, I'll just find out from him, how does he actually do what he says he can do? You just find that out. So let's say somebody who's already in something, like let's say he's in media, he's like a broadcaster or something like that, and he wants to move on from the low-level job that he's doing right now.
Sure.
He's in broadcasting, but he wants to move into a larger network or get seen by more powerful people in media.
Sure.
Are they the kind of people who will come to you and say, listen, enhance me so that I can go further places? Is that the kind of person that you think needs personal branding?
Yes, you are right, Madhav. It very frequently happens to us, right from vice president of a company who is looking for, vying for the post of a executive director or a managing director, to the people, those who are into mid-manager level, wants to become big. They also come to us and say, how do we go about it? So again, we decide the objective.
So it's almost like a doctor and a patient.
Always.
He's analyzed this problem. I got a pain here. I want that pain to go.
Right.
And you say, listen, I'm not going up in the corporate ladder. What should I do? And what advice should I take? Is that as straightforward as that? People come and...
Yes, it is straightforward, but our solution is not straightforward. Because if somebody is not able to go into the corporate ladder, there might be different parameters for it. There are different factors.
Okay.
But the personal branding is something, if they have the real capability, and if capability is not being seen, if that is the reason.
Oh, okay, I understand now. That one aspect is what is keeping him down. You help him overcome that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's a perception of that person that you will improve.
True. Since you said that word perception, it's a very interesting word in personal branding. Because whenever we meet somebody, we get to know somebody, we always create a perception about them.
Okay.
But what happens, either you help me to create a perception about yourself, or I create whatever I want to.
Yes.
So it's always better that you have a personal branding strategy behind you, so that you control the perception that I should have about you, what will help you to reach whatever objective that you have for your career or social objective.
So it's not something that the person alone can do. He needs to have something built up for him. I mean, if I would just say nice things about myself, you just throughout the other year. But if somebody else were to pass that same information, or somebody whom that guy also respects,
right,
then the whole value of that recommendation is something solid. It's not just empty bragging. So is that things like that you do? You put articles in important places. How do you build the value of that?
Very
person?
good. As you rightly said, it's all about communication, because we want to create an impact on your target audience. That is how you are going to be having that platform what will help you to grow up from where you are today.
Yes.
Now the target audience needs to be communicated. So for communication, as I told you, we use the media marketing peer. And today with digital media, as one of my friends keeps saying, that geography has become history.
Yes.
So you can actually reach anywhere in the world, and if you are thinking that today you want to create,
so is that also part of your strategy, creating
global
the marketing
reach,
or social marketing, or using all these media
yes,
to push his career forward? Okay.
True. When you talk about media, we use all medias, that's print media, electronic media like TV, and of course the digital media, that is social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and everything. Because wherever we could reach the target group,
and use all those,
whichever media is necessary, so it gets customized. There is no one media or bunch of media that we use. The whole strategy differs from person to person based on their objective, their field, where they are.
Okay, let me ask you the critical question, which I'm sure all these people who are listening to us are going to ask.
Right.
How much is this guy going to cost me to do something for myself? Okay, like that. Is it something that is like your menu card? All right, I want to make you popular in South India in 1 state, 2 states, 3 states, or is it 4? Or is it worldwide across the galaxies? How do you charge people on these kind of things? I don't ask you nuts and bolts, dollars and cents, but in some kind of manner, how does it work?
I understand what you are telling. As I told you, it's a very customized strategy.
Yes.
So it depends from person to person where they are. As I said, that we do a brand audit and what is their objective. Now for people, it goes for a 5 years contract for us.
Okay.
And the minimum is a 1 year contract.
Okay.
And for India especially,
That's right, in Chennai.
Yeah.
Right here.
I thought I should bring it down to a level where people could kind of afford it. So I have a package where people could spend about $50,000 a month.
Okay. And
for
how long
about a
would you
year.
recommend somebody does that, so that you take full benefit of your advice, your professional advice on that? 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, a year?
It's to really start seeing some good effect out of it, you need to at least have about a year contract.
Okay.
Year contract. See,
it's easy for people to understand. There has to be a sustained effort, not just over 2 weeks. It has to last a couple of months. Then if you know that, okay, it's going to put me back 50 grand. So, all right, 6 lakhs, 10 lakhs, I'm going to put on my own image.
Right.
People will go for it. Yeah, I can see. So, I can see that you wrote a book. By the way, he's written a book. It's called The Secret to Winning Big. Secret to Winning Big. And he's got a gentleman whose name is Brian Tracy, who's also a person like him in the same field. So, will you tell me something about this book? What exactly is this book all about?
Actually, this book is published by Celebrity Press back in US.
Okay.
And Nick is the publisher of the book, Nick Nanton, who is actually 2 times Emmy Award winning director.
Okay.
And we belong to this forum called America's Premier Expert. So I am also one of the America's Premier Expert.
Okay. So he's in the same personal brand building background as you are?
No.
Or he's not?
No. In this book, the people, those who have co-authored with me, they are all from different field. We have chosen that so that everybody brings different flavor about success from their own life. So it should not be...
Okay, so let's see. It's not every day that you meet somebody who's written a book. I know people all have a book between their ears, but it hardly ever comes out. So when I come back, I want to find out what exactly is in this book, because he says it's not just a dry, boring dissertation on do's and don'ts. It's more than that. So let's find out. So if I were to ask you to tell me who, in your opinion, from India, could actually benefit from personal branding? Who would you say? I mean, you don't have to take actual names, but the kind of people or the businesses they are in, who would you say?
Okay, so let me give a few ideas on that. The people, those who are approaching me, the kind of people in India currently, what is keeping me back in this country to drive this personal branding exercise here, and the people for whom I have been doing. Now, this includes people, those who are doctors, who is trying to get a post, like, who wants to achieve something like wants to become a director of Red Cross India.
Okay.
But so that they can benefit the country more. They feel that, they could, with their knowledge and the expertise that they have, they could actually, benefit
move beyond
the
just being a doctor into...
And take a greater role to serve the country back. People, as I told you, the politicians, they are coming to me because a few more years of the election is on the door. It takes time to change a perception.
That's true.
Today, all the voters in India are intelligent. They are looking at whether the politicians have some substance in them, and personal branding is something where you can communicate that
you know any politicians in India right now who, in your opinion, may already be employing such a program like what you suggest? Do you think there are anybody already using it? Like, would our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, be somebody who's using a firm to improve his image, or do you think he's just come on his own? What would you think?
See, people, those who are able to come into the limelight and able to use their communication, knowingly or unknowingly, they are doing the right thing. But if you look at today, personal branding has become something that creme de la creme of Indian community, they know it because they have been exposed to it internationally. So they know there is something called personal branding. And as far as Mr. Narendra Modi, our current Prime Minister, is concerned, I think it's a talk everybody knows that, like, he himself has become a huge brand because he was able to, sell his dream, his success story.
Correct.
There has to be something. So he had a huge success story in Gujarat in terms of the progress of the state. So he was able to showcase that story, and that was what was the base for people to believe that if he has done that in Gujarat, he could also do that for the rest of the country. And because of his consistent message, how he is going to do that.
Is that very critical? This consistency of message, or is mixed messaging wrong, or is mixed messaging also an indication that he's thinking of more than just one thing in his life? Mixed messaging is also good. I can do this, I can do that, and not just be a one agenda prime minister. So has he? Do you think, independently assessing him, do you think he has been sort of groomed along the way, or you just?
I think definitely, when you are in that particular position and you have been always dealing with the society and the bureaucracy and everything, you are in the helm of ruling a state and the country, so there is a natural development of the people. So I'm sure he has come a long way, and today he understands.
I remember many years ago, some British Prime Minister, he was even told what color ties he should wear. I mean, it's like somebody had actually even told him that, you look terrible in this color, don't use that color. So do you come down to such specifics also?
It does. There is a small module in our personal branding solutions. Based on what is your objective, you should dress like that. So it becomes very important, because whatever you say, how you carry yourself, also always giving a perception about yourself. Because when we look at people, when you meet people, we start, before even we talk, we start perceiving something about them. So it is very important also what do you wear. So there is a small module as a solution in our personal branding exercise.
That's also part of the...
But it's a very small part, but that is also a part based on the objective, what you want to be.
How many people, percentage-wise, I know hard to say percentage, but if you say take 100 successful people, or 100 people, forget about successful, how many of them in India are aware of this? Out of every...
Personal branding?
Yeah, personal branding.
You are talking about...
Among senior managers, senior people who may need this, do you think they are aware? Or do you have an uphill battle in India first trying to establish personal branding, or you think that's done already?
True, not really. India has to go a long way. It's in a very nascent stage. This word personal branding, as I told you, is always kind of perceived as PR, public relations.
Yes.
Whereas personal branding is not public relations. It's a very small part of activities that is a part of personal branding. Personal branding is a strategy. It's a tool. It's a tool what needs to be unfolded over a period of time to create that impact on your target group.
Do your clients, if I want to call them that, your clients come with very clear ideas of what they're doing, or does it evolve out of discussions?
Truly speaking, not many of them. Majority of my client, they have some thought about their goal. Majority of them, they have a goal. That is why they come to me. But they don't know what needs to be done, or So when we discuss, when we do this brand audit, the initial brand audit, that's where we actually unfold that what are the strengths he has.
And you
that
pick his brain to see what is he looking for.
Yes. And we sign up, NDA, non-disclosure, agreement with all the clients because these are all confidential matters.
That's true.
We don't even disclose the name of the client anywhere. Nobody gets to know that we are doing personal branding or such and such.
Oh, that's also helpful that you can say that anybody is your client and nobody can deny it also if you've got an NDA signed. But anyway, this has been very nice listening to it because I really didn't think Indians were up to it, but obviously you know what you're talking about. And is it more common in Canada, for example?
In North America, people are much aware of this fact they got to brand themselves. Then people.
So your manner of speaking, all that is groomed, or is that also not part of the whole thing?
And when you are talking about the person who is getting branded, everything becomes a part of.
So you have experts in all these fields.
Yes, we do have experts on all these fields. In fact, we help you if you need to be positioned intellectually into your field. We help you to come with a white paper or a research paper into that particular field where you are, so that
So do you feed them with regular snippets of news from around the world which might pertain to their field, so that they appear more knowledgeable or more clued in? Do you do backup things like that also?
It doesn't go into that micro level actually. It is more into that strategic level. But then whatever is happening into the world and where they should be balanced, that particular idea we part with our clients so that they know this is where they should be for what they want to be.
Well, I'm mighty impressed, Donn. I really hope that you go out there and get 100 more clients and then kick everybody's image upstream as soon as you can.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.